guys, and welcome to Coding for Kids. Today we are going to be learning about decorating tables with CSS. So we've already gone over tables with HTML and designing tables and making the basic structure of tables. But we're learning CSS now. And tables, to be honest, quite frankly, they're not the most appealing when no CSS is applied. If you've seen a blank table with CSS or without CSS, there's no color. It's not properly spaced. It's kind of sometimes too small. There are lots of different problems. But with CSS today, we are going to be fixing all of those problems and making tables the best they can be in a very presentable way. So today, let's just look at the overview. In this video, we are going to be first learning how you can apply CSS with tables and why it's so important. Then we're going to be looking at the table border. We've already gone over boarding and our border in our last two videos, so go check those out if you haven't already. Then we have the border collapse property, which is a little bit new. We haven't learned it before, but it's really easy to understand. Then we have sizing, which is just adjusting the width and height, which is easy peasy. Spacing, which is padding and margin. Again, we've already gone over it in the last two videos, so go check that out because that those two videos will really help with today. And then just trying the code out. So this is the overview, and now let's go on to the intro. So tables are typically used to display tabular data. So they have cells, they have rows, they have columns. That's what a table is. So when you create a HTML table without any styles or attributes, browsers display them without any style, and it's very boring. There's no color, there's no variety, there's no nothing. With CSS, you can greatly improve the appearance of your tables. So it'll become very visually pleasing, which is great when you want to display it on your web page or website. So CSS provides several properties that allow you to control the layout and presentation of the table elements. And we're going to be going over some of them today. So first we have table border, and the table border creates borders for the table. So you use the border property and you get borders. And you can see this table here has a border. So I want you to notice that each cell has its own border, and then if you see very closely, and I'll get my pointer out, you can also see that the table outside also has a different border. So this is the cell border. Each cell has its own border, and then the table itself has its own border. So I just wanted you guys to notice that little point. Then we have the border collapse property. The border collapse property specifies whether the browser should control the appearance of the borders that touch each other, or if they should maintain its style. So if you see in the next image, you can see this is the default without any border collapse. Just the default, when you add a border, it'll be something like this. The cells will be kind of separated. There will be space between the cells. But when you say border collapse, what will happen is all that space will collapse, and the border, the cells, will be very close to each other. So here, even though it says separate, this is just default. You don't need to actually use the border collapse property. But when you want it to look something like this, then you would need to use the border collapse property. And you can see again, default, there is space, and when it's not default, or when you use the border collapse, there will be no space. So that is the border collapse property. And now the width and height. So the width and height property can help you size your table according to your web page. For example, sometimes tables seem a bit too small for your web page. In this case, you could change the width to 100% or full width to take up the full width of your screen. You could do the same thing with height as well. So sometimes you might think, oh, this table is really small compared to the rest of my web page. Then you would put width to 100% and it would take up the full width. It's you don't really need to adjust like width is this much, height is this much. You can just put width 100% and it'll take up the full width. And again, we've gone over these two for a long time, so I don't think I need to explain it in detail. Padding and margin, again, we've already kind of gone over it. Padding helps a lot in your table because it can add space in each cell, which will make it nicely spaced and it won't be like smushed together with all the words very close to each other. Margin can also help when you want the table to be spaced away from other HTML elements. Remember that both of these properties are transparent. Again, we've gone over that in the last two videos. So that's padding and margin. Now it's time to code. So before, we've been using code.org for all our coding purposes and for all of our projects, but now we're going to be using Replit. Now you can still use code.org. There's nothing wrong with code.org at all, but I discovered something new called Replit, and I feel like it's a little bit more professional and a little bit more I wouldn't say easier to use, but I do like to use it. They're basically the same. I would say code.org is a little bit beginner friendly, but Replit is just as nice. So when you go to Replit, I'll show you guys. So I'm just going to go to Replit and their website, and then I'm going to show you guys how to create a new project. Okay guys, so this is Replit, and as you can see, this is my home screen. I've already signed in, and what you would do to create a project, you would go to create, and then it says like select the language. We are learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, so you would select that. You would give it a title, let's say tables. And then you just say create Replit. And what would happen is it'll take some time. Yeah, and then it'll lead you to the Replit site. You can delete all of this. This is just like a few stuff. You could keep this. You could definitely keep this. You could give it a title, and then you can start coding whatever you want. So this is just how to create, but I'm just gonna go back, and this I've already created the project tables with CSS. So what we're gonna be doing is I've already created it, so I just want you guys to see. So if I click run, you can see in the student details. So this is these are like imaginary students names I just made up, and I've gave them all an age and a grade. So these student details, you can see there are there are 4 columns: first name, last name, age, and grade. And you can see it is very appealing. Yeah, it's very appealing. You can see there's color, there's lots of you can see the border, you can see that there's an actual title. It's just very appealing. And if I open it in a new tab, I also gave it full width, so it'll stretch out no matter what the size of the screen is. That's what's so good about full width, is because 100%, it takes up 100% no matter how big your screen is, instead of just using a specified number. So you can see right here, first, all my CSS is in the style.css. So we're just going to be going over the HTML first. So first we have our caption. It just says student details. Then we have each row. So the first row is just like the title. So first name, last name, age, grade. Then we have the details about each student. So here is Sarah White. She's 14 and in 8th grade. Then we have Tom Smith. He's 12 and he's in 6th grade. We have Jessica Ross. she's 9 in 3rd grade, and then Chris Wilson he's 7 and he's in 1st grade. So you can see pretty normal, just like a regular old table. And then if you go to the style.css, you can see first for the body, I added a font family, and we also changed the color of all the text except the caption. Then for the table with this 100%, and you could also say here border collapse, and a cool thing, you can just like fill it in this, and then you would say collapse and semicolon, and then when you run, it should be together. Okay, I guess it's not working in Replit. That's okay though, but it should work. This was the same problem with code.org. It did not like create the border collapse, which is okay. I guess some editors it doesn't work on. But then we have our the headings. You can see the height, vertical alignment, and then I created some comments as well. Then we have the background color, pretty normal stuff. For the table data, I created the table data as a different color just so it's easy to recognize, and then we gave it a bit of a background color, text align, pretty simple stuff. And then for all of them, the table data, and the table headings, we gave them a border and we gave it specific color. Then the border collapse separate, which again, I didn't really need to do. I mean, it'll still work the same. Yeah, if I do this, it'll still work the same. Then we have border spacing, and what this does, it'll just like give it a little bit of space. Padding is just like the room and like the empty space. And for caption, you can see caption side is top. We wanted to be at the top. You could put bottom as well, and that would put it on the bottom, but like it's almost like a heading, so we don't really want it on the bottom. There's also left and right, but I'll just keep it at the top. So anyway, there's font size and then color. So this is pretty normal, and I feel like it's pretty easy to understand. The border collapse, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work on very many editors, so that's kind of unfortunate. But if you do find another editor or like a coding platform that works, if you want, you can share it in the comments below, and we can also create a different video to explore different types of editors and stuff, because it's always cool to try out new editors, and ultimately you can just use whichever one you're comfortable, whether it's Replit or code.org or something new that you have discovered. So that was pretty much it. And then another cool feature I found on Replit is that you can copy paste your own URL, and then you can send it to anyone, and it'll work on anyone's account, and you can see it'll create your very own, I guess, website, and you can also create your custom domain if you want. But yeah, so pretty cool. Replit is a fun editor to kind of explore, I guess, if you want to have fun. But yeah, so that is Replit, and for the next few videos I will probably be using Replit just because I think it's I am more comfortable with it compared to code.org, but I feel like code.org more this is like the same language. It's not going to change editor to editor. So of course you can still do everything I'm doing on code.org. It's just that maybe some codes won't work on some editors. That's it. So that was it for the coding portion of this video. So I'm just gonna finish up the video and kind of wrap it up. So So guys, for review, first we looked at a little intro with tables with CSS, then the border, table border, then the border collapse property. Then we looked at adjusting the width and height and sizing. And then spacing, we looked at padding and margin, and then we tried out the code. So that was it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching Coding for Kids. I hope you guys had a fun time learning. I will link the slideshow and also Replit down below. I created a little tiny 1-minute video about Replit and just about Replit and how it looks like. So I also linked Replit down below in that video, so you can just go check that out if you want to be more familiar with Replit. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.